Hey y'all, welcome to part 3 and another video from the Dope Librarian. This is part 3 of an American marriage where we're doing a discussion about another point that I thought came up in the book. And this one was actually, this third part is actually one of like the main points of the book. So that's definitely easy to talk about. So what this book made me realize that I'm not a ride or die chick. I mean, I think I already knew that, but I think it. Well, okay, maybe it did make me think that. Maybe it actually made me think I'm more of a rider than I actually thought. So here's the scenario. Okay, if my husband, whom I love, was accused of a crime falsely, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that he is innocent. For instance, in this book, Roy was laying next to his wife at the time of the crime. So, she knew without a shadow of a doubt that he was innocent. If I knew with that clear certainty, I believe that not only would I use every resource available to me to get the word out about my man being locked up in some prison, okay? I mean, news people, I'm getting his university. So in the book, they were talking about like how his parents came from like meager money and didn't have a lot of influence. They didn't have a lot of access to things. I'm like, yeah, but he went to Morehouse. Like, you could have got them on your side. So just know that if anybody who I'm dating ever gets caught up in that, and by I mean married, okay? Not dating, because if I'm just dating you and you get caught up on that, I am going to help you, but I'm also going to move on a lot quicker. I'm just telling you all this now. If you are my boyfriend and you get caught up on some stuff, I'm going to visit you, put money in your books, just so you know I'm going to date somebody else. Simple as that. Boop. It's real sad, but I got to go. And I don't expect for you to wait on me if I get caught up on some stuff like that. I just don't expect you to be my boyfriend for the rest of my life. Like, no. So I will be using every resource, though, at my disposal in things that are outside the box. Like, I'm calling your local university, your whatever school you graduated from, your employer. I'm getting all kind of people rallied behind you if I know that clearly that, hey, this rape was committed between these hours, or we were asleep between these hours. I mean, I reached out and touched him. So yes, I'm going to help you. Now, in the context of marriage, where in the book they were married for 18 months, which is a year and a half, and he was sentenced to 12 years. So here's where I think I might be a rider. Is because if you're already my husband and I honestly believe that you are innocent, I'm probably going to wait on you. It's sort of like, have you all seen the movie Con Air? Everybody has seen the movie. It's just as old as me. So in the movie, you know, just like in the book, except actually no, not in the book, because in the book he really is innocent. In the movie, oh dude did in fact commit assault. Like, he whooped those dudes' butt, but it was to defend his wife, whom the guys presumably were probably going to rape, and he was convicted. And she stayed by his side. And I've always kind of been like, hey, if you're defending your family's honor, defending my honor, I feel like I have to stay by your side. And that may even be the case if I was dating you. Like, if we're out and some folks are trying to like harm us and you know, protect us, you know, I kind of feel in that sense, I feel like I should be staying. I appreciate you. So yeah, anyway, it's just a likelier chance that I am going to stay, okay? Much more likely. And so in this sense, when you hear that your innocent husband is put in prison, I feel like there's actually a high chance that I'm going to stay. I'm going to be by your side, okay? Like that's my idea. Now, on the other side, like the part of me that's like, no. So, I have always said I am not a ride or die chick, which is why I can't date criminals, people who I think may be a criminal, not only because of my profession right now, like, not only because of that, but even before that, like, I don't have time for prison visits. Like, And we get a piece of that in the book. Like, Celestial talks about having to have someone dig up like her butt, her vagina, her boobs to make sure she's not bringing anything into prison. I cannot imagine being invaded like that to visit someone often. And so you have that picture in mind of that's a part of being ride or die. But then part of being ride or die means like I might go to prison because you did some stuff, and because of that, I'm out. Like I'm just out. So, like, yeah. So the book made me like, for the most part, kind of feel like, maybe I'm not ride or die. But then further beyond ride or die, it just made me open up my eyes to see, hey, am I ready for this idea of forever? And clearly not. Like, I say this after being married and divorced. Like, clearly I my mind wasn't for forever. Because, like, I'm like, I gotta go. Deuces. So, in this sense, it's sort of like 18 months of marriage, 12 years of being married, but not living like you're married because your husband's in prison. Yeah, that's a hard thing, isn't it? To have to make that decision. Like, that is a hard place to be in, because you got married with ideas in mind. You got married with laying with your husband. You got married thinking of trips. You got married thinking of maybe babies, of great sex, for forever with this person. You got married thinking of always having a date to the movies, or for that +1. You've thought that a part of your marriage included all of those things, and suddenly you're married, but all of those things are stripped away. Like, I'm almost 30, okay? And I would like to have more children. And it will be so difficult to be married to someone and then they just go to prison and you can't have those things anymore. Like, there's no one to hold you when you're sad. You can't just pick up the phone and call that person. Like, 'cause it's worse in a long distance relationship, because you don't have the freedom to say, hey, I want to come see you just whenever, or I'm feeling down, I want to even call you. You have to wait for that call to come to you. It's too much that is outside of your hands, and for that reason, I'm like, I just can't be a ride or die. Like, oh, but this book makes it so difficult because he's innocent, and you're like, of course you can't be a ride. Like, people are like, yeah, I ain't gonna ride up nobody out there committing all kind of crimes. Da, 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 da. Like that's really simple to be like, bye. But it's much more difficult when you're talking about an innocent person. Like, do you leave him? Like, when is a good time to like just pack up and leave? Like, when do you send that letter? When do you make that visit that says, I can't do this anymore? Like, I would like to use some of my better years experiencing, XYZ. I would like to experience just 12 years without sex too, y'all. Like, that's a long time. Not impossible, just a very long time to be waiting. Because if not, okay, so let's say, people say, I'm going to stick it out, I'm going to stay. Are you faithful? Like, what are the parameters of staying in that case? Like, are you in prison also? So it's the idea of, I'm going to stay here. Like, I'm going to stay within this marriage that's not functioning as a marriage. You're in physical prison. Do I put myself in physical prison? Do I put myself in emotional prison? Like, is it fair on your part to expect that of me? You were married for 18 months. Do you think that balance, like, weighs itself that, yeah, Lauren should be waiting on me for 12 years. You shouldn't be able to kiss, hold, touch, date, travel with a partner, put all hopes and dreams of more children, like, put that on hold. Like, is that what you're expecting of me? But then is it selfish of you to expect that? But then is it selfish of me to say, babe, I know you're innocent and you were in that jail cell and I am so sorry. But, I met a guy and, he's a really good guy. I want to go. Like, who's selfish in that context. Who's the person that should be doing the ultimate compromise? Personally, I kind of feel like, okay, if you say yes, I'm going to stay with you, and you say yes, you should stay with me, maybe the parameter should be that. And not that life is about sex or life is about anything like all of that, but that is a part of it. People love the connection of other people. They love the time, the emotional connection, and the physical connection. So I feel like, yes, there should be a parameter that kind of insulates that person who's on the outside. Like, hey, we just won't speak about it. And when I get out, it never happened. You can't develop, like, you can't get a whole boyfriend out here, like maybe you shouldn't do all that. But I expect you to live your life. And in the book, we also see how Celestial's career is taking off. And it's like, so here's one of the things like that, a part of being a ride or die. Like, so here's one of the things. Celestial missed like 2 months of visits because she was busy placing orders or fulfilling orders. So my question in the book that I wrote to myself was, can you be too busy to visit your innocent spouse? So let's say, we've come to the conclusion that you're not going to get a boyfriend while you're on the outside. You're not going to do anything else. You're going to stick it out, right? You're just going to wait the 12 years. Can you still live in other aspects? Like, sorry, babe, I can't come this month or next month because I got a girls trip planned. I got fill these orders. I have a class to take. I'm teaching a class. I got some church functions. Is it okay to get so busy still living your life while someone else's life has stopped? Like, time has stopped for that person. Is it like, for a moment I got upset with Celestial, like, while I was reading that book. I was like, how can you be that busy? You can't even go visit him? Like, he didn't do anything to be in there. The least you can do is go visit him. Now listen, Sue, if this ever happens to me, look, I'm gonna make it that I can visit you. I'm gonna try my best to make sure I'm visiting you. Now, if it becomes too costly to do that every month or every other month, I'm not going to be able to make it. So, like, if I'm living here in Kansas City, you get sent to San Quentin, which I think is in California, if the money not rolling in like that, I probably can't see you every week. I mean, every month. I just can't, But that's very different from not being able to do something versus able but too busy to do something. So that just kind of made me think, like, does your life stop because theirs stopped? Is it supposed to stop? Like, is that what marriage means? Is that what for better or for worse means? Does it truly mean, like, hey, this happened to you, so therefore it happened to us? Your life stopped, my life stopped. And I'm kind of thinking, like, no. I can, I cannot get the boyfriend. I cannot do all that other stuff. But I'm going to kick it with my girls. I feel like I should be able to continue living life. Now, it has not happened to me. So perhaps that becomes your focal. Perhaps. But that was also her fear. Am I known as the woman whose husband is in prison? Like, is that what it's become? Is that what it's supposed to be? And I can see why you would not want to be categorized as that. I can see why you would not want that to be your everyday life of, oh, that's Lauren, her husband's in San Quentin or in Riker, I'm just naming, or Leavenworth, which is not that far from here actually, so it's sort of like, I would not want that to be a part of my context or a part of my bio now. My walking tagline should not be, oh, that's her whose husband is in prison. But perhaps sort of like, we see parents who lose their children, like they end up making that their fight, like that's their mission. So maybe I can't think in the context because it has not happened to me. Maybe that becomes the fight of your life, and you do that day in and day out trying to get your spouse out. Maybe that's what for so death do you part and what for better or for worse really means is saying, yeah, I do put my life on hold. I do everything I can to bring my husband back. But I feel like eventually that causes a burnout. Like, while they're living, you're working, you're doing all this trying to get them out, and you have now lost yourself completely. So what was a broken person, a broken marriage, becomes two very broken people, not only as a result of that imprisonment that's happened, but now this person on the outside is additionally broken because they probably, because they've working so intently on doing this, maybe have isolated themselves from a support system, which I think is never healthy. So I don't know, like I definitely, and that's why I love this book, y'all. Like, that question in itself, like, who was wrong? I want to know, like, if you read this, is Celestial wrong for dating and moving on? Like, I don't know. I think it's definitely a hard assessment, and it's very difficult. So, like, on the one hand, I would like to think I'm a writer if my husband is innocent. I would like to think so. But when I think in the context of 18 months versus a 12-year prison sentence, my life is gone. Like, the youthfulness of right now is gone. I don't know. So, like, and I think maybe it's like a fear because you don't want to sound so callous about it. But, like I said, a part of me wants to be a writer and say, hey, like, this sucked. It happened to you. It happened to us. I'm in it. But I must admit, there's a bigger part of me that is actually saying I would have to be your friend. I would have to support and love you through this process. I would have to visit you so that you have visitors. I would have to talk to you. I would have to send you letters, and not have to, like in an obligatory, that's the word, obligatory way, but more so have to, like, that would be my part in this. But I feel like I would want to move on with my life. Like, I would probably, and I don't even know if it's like a bigger part. Maybe I shouldn't say bigger part. Maybe it's like a 51-49 or maybe 50-50. It's very difficult, which is why I like this book, because I can see people coming out on opposite ends of it. Like, if we were married for 6 years and you got 12, like, maybe I feel better, but 18 months, but I don't even know you. Like, we might not have lasted anyway. Like, what if we weren't going to last? And now, I done used 12 years for somebody who, if you were on the outside, we weren't going to make it past 2 anyway. So I think because of so many uncertainties, for one, that makes me assess, like, Lauren, like, you clearly are not ready for it. Because I do think that that the marriage portion does require that you stay. So perhaps the fact that I'm going hee-haw, like, means I'm not ready for it at this particular moment. Because I do think that when you're married, that you are someone who says, yes, I'm sticking this out, I'm riding this out. So I think the book is great for that, for all the people who are preparing to marry. Because if you're already married, you're like, hey, you're already in it. But if you're preparing for marriage, something like this could happen, hopefully not. But it at least makes you think about all the things that for better or worse actually means, and makes you assess if you're ready for it. And I would submit that a lot of us are not ready for it, although we think we're ready for marriage. So clearly I got some stuff to work on. Maybe y'all got to figure it out. And if y'all do, please leave your comment below. Like, click, comment, share. That's my last video for An American Marriage. Good job, Tyree Jones, on giving us some things to discuss. I think that, it's definitely a discussion, conversation starter. So when you're out with your friends, the conversation gets a little low. Pick any of these things to talk about, and I guarantee you have hours worth of conversation off of that. So, all right, I will talk to you all later. See you in my next video. Remember, like, click, comment, and share. The Dope Librarian, and hit me up on social media. Instagram is the same handle, and Twitter. Bye bye.